Alright, first on the take for this week, we have Amber Alert. It was recommended to me by my cousin Ellie, and she did not let down. So, it came out last year. It's PG-13. It's an hour and 30 minutes. Let's dive into the cast a little bit. We have Hayden Panettiere as Jacqueline. We have Tyler James Williams as Shane, and we have Kevin Dunn as Sergeant Phil Casey. The other actors in this film, they don't jump out as big name people, so I would rather not mention them. So as you can tell, the film is about urgency just by the poster behind me. And it's about the Amber Alert that I'm sure everyone has gotten on their phone, one way or the other. So the film does follow this girl who gets stolen from her mother, and it's one of those films where it's realistic, because there are people out there who want to be unsung heroes, and so the film starts off with us at a park with the little girl and her family, and she ends up getting snatched, and then we kind of jump over to Jacqueline, who's trying to get an Uber for a date in town, and she was too late, and she ends up running into Shane, and he's an Uber driver, but he's late for his son's birthday party, and so Jacqueline's like, hey, please, I'll do anything. And so they ride, they hear about the Amber Alert, and they find the car. So Jacqueline decides, hey, let's follow the car. And so the whole film kind of just spirals out from there. There's a lot of persistent pursuits with Jacqueline more than anybody. That she wants to find this child, and she wants to return her to her family, and it's kind of hectic, the fact that the mom calls and reports it, and because she didn't have a license plate, the cops aren't really going to do anything. And now, I've never dealt with that firsthand, so maybe that is how the cops really are. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's only select few stations that are like that, because just because she doesn't have certain information, they say, oh, it's sorry, it's a very familiar car, so it's going to be hard to track down. I don't believe that that's how the police handle situations like that. At least I hope not. So, anyway, like I said, the film kind of goes to twists and turns, and it was honestly one hell of a watch. The films like these are one of the best films to watch, because when you have a couple A-list actors, and then you have a good story, then that is, that's a film you're going to want to see, because you're not going to have someone overmatch somebody else. And that's what I really enjoyed about this. Tyler and Hayden really worked together in this. But besides that point, IMDb gave it a 6.0 out of 10. I give it a 4 out of 5, because I kind of wish I was able to buy this film and have the physical media for it. But it's a Hulu original, so obviously that's where you're gonna have to go to watch it. But I highly recommend you watching this. Ellie, thank you for recommending it. Don't stop giving me ones, because like I said, you hit the nail right on the head with this one. So give it a watch. Let me know.